Hello, my name is Vivian with VP3 Arenda, and I am finally sharing a message that I know I'm supposed to have been sharing for over a year probably. But it's from the Pleiadian Prophecy 2020, The New Golden Age by James Carwin. It is the chapter that they have on sexuality. Throughout the cosmos, sex is one of the most popular pursuits. We have observed that sex often catalyzes strong spiritual bonds between souls. We have also observed that exposure to sex often results in abandonment of spirituality and addiction to physical sensations. These observations are bewildering to us. The sexual union of your body with another being can either be your greatest sense of spiritual connection or disconnection. There are both positive and negative uses for sex throughout the universe. On your planet, sexuality is in dire need of healing. During the time of Atlantis, sex was based on mutual pleasure. The Atlanteans practiced free love, a polyamorous lifestyle that allowed individuals to mate with many partners without judgment or jealousy. Though marriages were still common practice, open marriages were the norm. Humans expressed love and attraction without being culturally restricted to only one partner or gender. Because the Atlanteans were telepathic, sex was more than just for physical pleasure and procreation. It was about the exchange of psychic information and soul communication as well. You as a race have steered far away from this integrative and wholesome lifestyle over the last 6,000 years. You have spiraled into cultural and genetic programming that imposes many restrictions on your sexuality. This dark age version of sexuality is designed to leave the majority of humans in frustration. The majority of men on your planet have a sex drive that is built for a harem owner. To indulge and revolve their lives around sex is compelling passion held by many men on your world. Of course, the majority of men cannot achieve this pornographic lifestyle they desire. Women, on the other hand, are often burdened with sexual frustrations of a different nature. They are burdened with bleeding, low sex drive, discomfort during intercourse, and anguish during childbirth. While a majority of men on your world are built for sexual addiction, women are built for sexual discomfort and shame, especially in your Eastern cultures. Also, a large portion of men on your world are genetically programmed to be sexually responsive only to women with physical features that meet the cultural standards for beauty. A large portion of women, on the other hand, are programmed to be attracted primarily to men with high status and wealth. Both men and women on your planet experience a high degree of sexual shallowness, where relationships are commonly based on fulfilling the lower chakras of survival and self-gratification, while ignoring the upper chakras of spiritual unity and enlightenment. This, of course, is not suitable for a golden age. As we scan your probable future, we can assure you that relationships and sexuality on your planet look much brighter than they do now. What we see coming is an expansion of sexuality occurring at the individual and collective level. As you move further into the ascension process, you may find yourself attracted to body types, personalities, identities, and lifestyles that you previously did not desire. You will not lose the sexuality that you currently have. You will simply experience an expansion of it, a broadening of what you perceive to be attractive. And we applaud this. The more the merrier, we say. You will begin to fall in love with people that you could not fall in love with before. And people who could not love you before will suddenly begin to fall in love with you as well. You are moving back to Atlantean sexuality, where you can fall in love with the majority of the people, not just a handful. The blossoming of sexuality will take time, of course. The human genome requires much activation. The beginnings of this expansion will become readily apparent in your 2020s and will become the cultural norm by the end of your 2030s. For those of you who feel resistant, triggered, and disappointed by this information, it may serve you to know there will still be individuals who prefer a life of strict monogamy. Though it is often a trademark of negative, limited societies, there are positive societies throughout the universe that practice monogamy as well. Within the Pleiadian alliance, many of our members are in monogamous relationships. If monogamy is your heart's truest desire, rest assured that there will be a place for you in the new golden age. However, as more and more humans awaken and embrace the coming free love movement, you may find yourself in a romantic wonderland where love and connection are more abundant than ever before, and this may be very tempting. Another trademark of negative realities is sexual superiority and dominance by one gender over the other. Currently, sexual encounters on your world often grant orgasm for the male while denying orgasm to the female. Most men on your planet experience hundreds of orgasms by the time they are 20 years old, while some women go their entire lives without experiencing even one. There is also widespread raping of females by males on your world, especially at the underground level. These iniquities are typical of a negative society. They must change. This must change. You must bring yourselves into wholesome balance. During the time of Atlantis, mutual respect and mutual pleasure were the norm, and we are delighted to say that they will be the norm once again. You are living in patriarchal times. Throughout many spiritual communities, dark ages are regarded as masculine ages, whereas golden ages are regarded as feminine ages. From our perspective, this is inaccurate. In order for a dark age to thrive, it requires both masculine, aggressive, and feminine, passive individuals. On your planet, the majority of the population is passive, submissive. This allows a minority of self-serving individuals to outshine and dominate the majority. Therefore, a golden age is not about emphasizing femininity over masculinity. It is about the balance of both. You must realize that these battles you keep waging upon yourselves are detrimental. Masculine versus feminine. Intellect versus intuition. Service to self versus service to others. Understand, dear friends, that only harmonious balance between polarities is what creates a positive experience or reality. If you are service to others oriented and you encounter someone that is service to self, guess what? You wind up servicing that person while receiving little to no service in return. You are out of balance. You must learn to become both service to others and service to self equally. Do not be aggressive or passive, which are both negative orientations. Learn to be assertive, the positive balance of both. Embrace the coming challenges and changes. It says changes. Embrace the coming changes that will improve your disposition. We cannot stress this enough, because most of you have the notion that dark ages tend to be masculine and patriarchal. We wish to share a brief story with you. Our records show that you have cycled through at least 3 golden ages and dark ages over the last 300,000 years. During the previous dark ages you experienced, it was women who ruled the earth. Currently, the patriarchal conditions of your societies are introduced by a race of extraterrestrial invaders known as the Reptilians. These lizard-like beings come primarily from the Orion and Alpha Draconis star systems. During the previous Dark Age, more than 50,000 years ago, the invading extraterrestrials were a race of malicious, highly intelligent, humanoid arachnidans. These beings are a much larger, much more advanced version of the spiders that exist on your planet. They come from star systems located in the Scorpio constellation. It is no coincidence that you assign certain names to certain star systems. You subconsciously know what dwells there. The upper class of arachnidans are humanoids with 4 arms, 2 legs, 6 eyes, and 2 large retractable fangs. The lower class of arachnidans tend to be more degraded, less intelligent versions that appear like giant black widows the size of your automobiles. All the arachnidan races we've observed can create web traps and are notorious for blood farming their captives. These malevolent creatures tend to form matriarchies. They introduced a brutal matriarchal society on your planet long ago that practiced mass cannibalism of men. It was during this time that men experienced tremendous oppression, where they were regarded as nothing more than expendable workers in food. The trauma accumulated from this dark age explains the prominent fear of spiders held by most of the human population. The memories are still lingering in your DNA. The powerful pendulum of humanity has swung back and forth between men and women many times throughout your history. You come into harmonious balance for approximately 20,000 years, and then slowly spiral out of balance into 5,000 years of patriarchal or matriarchal darkness, where one gender dominates the other. These cycles have repeated many times, but the glorious truth is that your current dark age will be the last. Because the earth has become the universal center of attention, it will be impossible for malevolent I always say that word wrong, races to invade your planet once you've allied yourself with the countless interstellar alliances that await your membership. Your level of protection, power, spirituality, and freedom will go beyond the reach of any hostile being. From our point of view, the upcoming golden age looks promising as a permanent paradise on Earth. We wish to address reproduction for a moment. Throughout the cosmos, reproduction happens in a variety of ways. This includes both sexual and asexual methods. Currently on your planet, reproduction is a very painful experience. It was not always this way. In most positive societies, the birthing experience is often accompanied with orgasm or euphoria. It is rewarded, not punished. In negative societies, however, it is often accompanied with pain, blood, and sometimes death. Depending on the dominant gender, the oppressed gender in a negative reality is often condemned to painful intercourse and either painful ejaculations for men or painful childbirth for women. These are telltale signs of a negative reality. The genetic codes for orgasmic birth are carried by every female on the planet. Less than 1% of human women can currently experience this. These genes are recessive, and the codes for painful birth are much more dominant. Some women have reported pleasurable birth experiences. This will become the norm as you ascend further into fourth density, where your Atlantean DNA will resurface and serve as the foundation for the alpha human. This will become apparent by 2019 as women report orgasmic birth experiences in growing numbers. Between 2020 and 2025, you may find yourself donning a 4D crystalline body that no longer supports negative systems of the old days. Mothers of all species on Earth will experience the giving of life as a beautiful, rewarding experience. Childbearing may likely return to its former glory, where mother and child undergo spiritual bonding accompanied by euphoric sensations that expand the mind and elevate the spirit in most celebratory moments of motherhood. You are in the process of converting from a dysfunctional species into a functional species. Just as you label your families and relationships on Earth as functional or dysfunctional, we have observed entire species and races that are functional or dysfunctional. The differences between your species and other dysfunctional species throughout the cosmos is that you have the potential to change. You carry exceptionally advanced genetic makeup within your bodies. With proper frequency modulation, your so-called junk DNA can be activated like a light switch toggling from off to on. This is not possible for many species outside your solar system. In order for us to help some negative societies transmute themselves, we must reprogram their DNA completely by adding new genetic codes that were not already present. Just as the reptilians and other malevolent forces have altered your DNA to render you dysfunctional and controllable, we Pleiadians have altered many species throughout the galaxy to render them functional, enlightened, and free. This, of course, must always be done with their consent. We communicate and appeal to their higher selves, often their astral selves, during sleep time, and we establish consensual agreements to assist them. It's an arduous task, but the more positive we become as a galaxy, as a universe, the better our chances at enduring a sovereign future for all of us. And that is it. It really goes along with the last video that I made, or well, the only other video that I made from this book, The Angels and Demons. And I know I had wanted to go back and make a video about the angels and demons there's a lot that I have to say. I just actually rewatched that video for the first time in a while recently, and I just see how much there really is that I wanted to talk about. And it goes along with this one, so maybe I'm just, not maybe, I am going to make a video and kind of talk about my thoughts about both of these videos combined. This is just a really great message for what I believe the relationships should be like. I think that just because you're married or in a relationship doesn't mean that you are not allowed to associate with other people of the opposite sex. And that's one of the big things about humans is our judgments. Everybody judges everybody. You can literally not have a man's name next to a woman's name, or most of the people that hear that are going to think intimate thoughts about them. And that should not be the case. That should be the ludicrous thought, not the other way around. And I am hoping to help change that in the collective consciousness with this message. I know that it's an important one that should have been out a long time ago, but divine and right on time. Thanks for listening, guys. See ya.